press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to the video classes of part 6 organic chemistry, some basic concepts and techniques. So in the previous class we discussed about the hybridization of carbon atoms in different organic compounds, and I have given a question like how many number of sigma and pi bonds are present in the given molecules, how to find out the number of sigma and pi bonds in a given organic molecules, that I have given in the last class. So let us move on to the second question here. What is the type of, second question, what is the type of hybridization of each carbon atom in the following molecules. What is the type of hybridization of each carbon in the following molecules? Let me take the example CH3Cl. Second example will be CH3 C double bond O CH3. Third one CH3 C double bond O NH2. And the fourth one CH3 CH double bond CH CH2 Cn. So I have given 4 examples here to find out the state of hybridization of each carbon atom in a given molecule. First we should know about the how many bonds is given by carbon. If carbon forms a single bond, then it means to say it forms only sigma bond and no pi bond is present. So no pi bond or one single sigma bond, then the state of hybridization is sp3. If it is one pi bond, if it forms one pi bond or double bonded carbon you can say, then it undergoes sp2 hybridization. If it forms two pi bonds or triple bonded carbon, it undergoes sp hybridization. So no pi bond by a carbon, then it is sp3. A single bonded carbon always gives sp3 hybridization. One pi bond if it forms, a double bonded carbon gives sp2 hybridization. Two pi bonds, that is triple bonded carbon, gives sp hybridization. So in this case it forms a single bond because this is the structure of this compound methyl chloride. Since it forms a single bond, here the carbon undergoes sp3 hybridization. Whenever the carbon gives sp3 hybridization, the shape, geometrical shape of the molecule will be what? Tetrahedral shape. And again, but here the geometrical shape is not given in a question. You have to give only the type of hybridization of each carbon atom in the given molecule. Now here it forms single bond with this carbon. This also forms single bond with this carbon, but this carbon forms one pi bond with the oxygen. With these two carbon atom it forms a single bond. So therefore this is sigma and this is sigma, and here one sigma and one pi bond, and this carbon forms only sigma bond and this carbon also forms only sigma bond. No pi bond formation takes place. Let me give the number for this carbon 1, 2 and 3. So the first carbon is sp3, second carbon is sp2 and the third carbon is sp3 because it forms only sigma bond, no pi bond, and it forms one pi bond. Therefore, it undergoes sp2 hybridization, and this carbon forms only sigma bond. Therefore, it undergoes sp3 hybridization. Now, here also this carbon is one, and this is the second carbon. It forms a single bond with this carbon. Therefore, it is sigma, and it forms one pi bond and one sigma bond with the oxygen. Therefore, the state of hybridization sp3 and sp3 and sp2, because it forms one pi bond. Now, consider these carbon atoms. This is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, and the fifth carbon. So let us write the structure here. CH3, CH double bond CH, CH2, Cn is triple bonded nitrogen. Carbon forms 3 bonds with the nitrogen. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Correct? 5 carbon atoms. So it forms single bond and no pi bond by first carbon. Second carbon forms one pi bond, double bonded carbon. This carbon also forms one pi bond, because you should look at either sides of the carbon. While giving the state of hybridization of particular carbon, you should look at on either sides of the carbon. It forms sigma bond with this carbon, and it forms sigma bond with this carbon, and it also forms one pi bond with this carbon. Therefore, total the third carbon atom forms one pi bond. So when one pi bond formation takes place, it is sp2. And what about the second carbon? Second carbon also forms one pi bond. So you have to look at on either sides of the carbon. Here is sigma and here is pi. So since it forms one pi bond, so the hybridization state is sp2. Now this carbon forms only single bond with the other carbon atoms. Here no pi bond formation is given by the fourth carbon. Therefore, it is sp3. What about this carbon? Here it forms sigma bond, but with nitrogen it forms 2 pi bonds. It forms 2 pi bonds, and it is a triple bonded carbon. Triple bonded carbon. Therefore, what is the state of hybridization? It is sp3, and it is sp2, and it is sp2, and it is sp3, and here it is sp. Correct? So sp3, sp2, sp2, sp3 and sp hybridization. Now let me give the next example. CH3, CH double bond C, double bond CH, CH double bond CH, CH3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So 7 carbon atoms are there in a chain. Then what are the state of hybridization of the carbon here? First carbon sp3, because it forms only sigma bond, no pi bond formation. This second carbon forms one pi bond, therefore it is sp2. Third carbon forms one pi bond on this side, one more pi bond on other side. So we need to look at on either sides of the carbon. It forms one pi bond on with this carbon, and it forms one more pi bond with this carbon. It forms pi bond with the second carbon and the fourth carbon. So total number of pi bonds formed by this carbon is 2. Therefore it undergoes sp hybridization. sp hybridization. And what about this? It forms one pi bond, therefore it is sp2. It also forms one pi bond, therefore it is sp2. It also forms one pi bond, therefore it is also sp2. And this forms no pi bond, only the sigma bond, therefore it is sp3. In that way, you have to give the state of hybridization of each carbon atom present in a given examples. Okay, and this is about the state of hybridization of carbon in the following, or the type of hybridization of the carbon in the following molecules. Now, let us move on to the third question. Third question. So, move on to the third question here. So the third question is, what is the state of hybridization of carbon and shape of the given molecules. Shape of the given molecules means you have to give the state of hybridization of the carbon. On the basis of state of hybridization of the carbon present in a molecule, you have to give the geometrical shape of the molecules. Let me give the first example, CH2O. And you can expand like this, H, C, H, double bond O. So we have only 3 atoms around the carbon. Carbon is tetravalent. It forms 4 sigma bonds. It forms 2 sigma bonds with 2 hydrogen atoms. Then definitely it will form double bond with the oxygen because it forms multiple bond with the oxygen. Now what is the state of hybridization of this carbon? It undergoes sp2 hybridization. When the carbon atom undergoes sp2 hybridization, the bond angle will be 120 degree and the shape of the molecule is triangular planar. Triangular planar. What is the shape of the molecule? Triangular planar. So because the carbon is sp2 hybridized. Now second compound, CH3F, methyl fluoride, or you can say methyl chloride. You can take methyl chloride. Then the carbon is bonded to 3 hydrogen atoms by a single bond, and again it forms a single bond with the chlorine. So the carbon does not forms any pi bond. Therefore the state of hybridization of the carbon is sp3. When the state of hybridization of carbon is sp3, what is the angle between any 2 bonds? It is 109 degree 28 minutes. Here the bond angle is 120 degree and here the bond angle is 109 degree 28 minutes, and the shape of the molecule is tetrahedral. So tetrahedral shape, and here triangular planar shape. Okay. Now if chlorine is replaced by fluorine, then it will be methyl fluoride. That also where the carbon atom undergoes sp3 hybridization and the shape of the molecule will be tetrahedral. And in a third example, let me move on to HCHO. HCONH2. HCONH2. Here also the carbon atom, you can write C double bond O NH2. So this is the central atom and the state of hybridization will be sp2 and the shape will be triangular planar. Now the next example I can give here as next example, that is HCN. You can write H triple bond N because carbon forms 3 bonds with nitrogen. That gives a class of compounds called cyanides. The hybridization state of carbon is sp because it forms 2 pi bonds and it is a triple bonded carbon. What is the shape? Shape of the molecule will be linear because bond angle is 180 degree. Since the bond angle is 180 degree, the carbon undergoes sp hybridization. The shape of the molecule is linear. So this is about if a molecule is given on the basis of the state of hybridization of the carbon, you can easily give the geometrical shape of the organic molecules. Why organic molecules give particular geometrical shape? The reason for that is in organic compounds, the carbon atom forms covalent bonds. It forms both sigma and the pi bond. And at the same time, these covalent bonds are directional in nature, and also carbon atom undergoes hybridization in organic molecules. On the basis of state of hybridization of the carbon, we can give the geometrical shape of the given organic molecules. Okay, now let us move on to the next concept here. Structural representation of organic compounds. Note down these examples. You will get questions in your NCERT text. You will get this type of questions in your NCERT text. It is an in-text question, 12.1, 12.2, 12.3. Just you go through those questions, try to attend those questions, and most of the examples I have already given, and left with 2 or more, just to try to attend those questions. So similar questions. Finding number of sigma and pi bonds, finding the state of hybridization of the carbon, and finding the state of hybridization of the carbon and the shape of the molecule. Okay, now let us move on to the next concept here. Okay, let us move on to the next concept. Structural representation of organic compounds. Structural representation of organic compounds. So we can represent the compounds in 2 ways. One is in the form of molecular formula, second one is structural formula. Molecular formula gives only what type of atoms of different elements present in a molecule in a fixed ratio. What is the ratio of these atoms in a molecule? So that is a simplified form of a compound where it represents the atoms of different elements present in a molecule in a fixed ratio. That gives the molecular formula. In molecular formula, we are not giving the nature of the bond between the atoms. So for example, if you want to write a molecular formula of ethane, we can represent it as C2H6. Similarly, if you write the molecular formula of benzene, you can write it as C6H6. This is molecular formula. But the molecular formula can give only the atoms present in different molecules in a fixed ratio, but it does not tell us about the nature of the bond. Unless and until we don't know the nature of the bond between the atoms, we cannot give the complete physical and chemical properties of the given compound. So therefore, structural formula is also important to explain physical and chemical properties of organic compounds and even the inorganic compounds. Here, what is the structural formula here? Structural formula of the compound. You can say, what is the structural formula of ethane? You can represent ethane in this way, CH. So this is structural formula. And what is the structural formula of benzene? So this is the structural formula of benzene. So this is the structural formula of benzene. So look at the difference between molecular formula and structural formula. Unless and until we cannot write the structural formula, we don't know this C6H6 process, ring structure of carbon. There is a double bond between the carbon atoms at the alternate position, and carbon is bonded to hydrogen through a single bond. So this can be explained only when we write a structural formula. In molecular formula, we cannot find the nature of the bond between the atoms. So this is about the structural formula. This representation of structural formula of the compound gives two-dimensional representation, means all the bonds are indicated on the plane of board. So all the types of bonds, whether it may be towards the observer or away from the observer, all the bonds are, we can represent all the bonds on the board by using two-dimensional structural formula. Whatever the structural formula have written here, it is a two-dimensional representation. All the bonds are represented on the board. It is two-dimensional representation. Here we cannot say, so actually here the one atom is present below this board, or you can say it is away from the it is out of the plane of a board, and one bond will be out of the plane of a board which is towards the observer. Like that, you can also represent a structural formula in three-dimensional representation. So that is the difference between molecular formula and structural formula. Unless and until we don't know the nature of the bond between the atoms, we cannot predict the complete physical and chemical properties of the given organic compound. Therefore, structural representation of organic compounds is very, very important. So there are two ways to represent the structural formula of compounds. What are those? There are two ways to represent the structural formula of the compounds. So structural representation of organic compounds are of two types. First one, two-dimensional representation. Two-dimensional representation. And a second one, three-dimensional representation. Two-dimensional representation and three-dimensional representation. In two-dimensional representation, again we have three types. What are those? Complete formulae or complete formula. Next one is condensed formula. And the third one is bond line formula. So there are two types in two-dimensional representation of structural representation of organic compounds: complete formula, condensed formula, bond line formula. And in three-dimensional representation, you have solid and dashed wedge formula. Solid and dashed wedge formula. Solid and a dashed wedge formula. So these are the two ways to represent structural formula of the given organic compound: two-dimensional representation, three-dimensional representation. Let us move on to two-dimensional structural representation of organic compounds. There are three types: complete formula, condensed formula, bond line formula. So let us move on to this two-dimensional representation. So in two-dimensional representation, first one is complete formula. Complete formula. What is this complete formula represents? Let me give a molecule like ethane. Ethane, its molecular formula is C2H6, and here we can go to the complete formula of ethane molecule. This is complete formula. So this is the structural representation of organic compound in two dimensions, and this gives the complete formula. Then how we can explain what do you mean by complete formula? That is a structural representation of the organic compounds in complete formula. It indicates all the atoms present in the molecules given molecules are shown in the structural formula, and also all the bonds which are connecting the atoms are also shown in the formula. Both atoms and the bonds between the atoms are shown in the formula. And as we know that organic compound forms covalent bonds. In organic compounds, the atoms forms covalent bonds, and the covalent bonds are formed by the equal sharing of electrons. They are formed by equal sharing of electrons. And the third point you have to indicate, one bond consisting of two electrons. So, two electrons are present in one covalent bond, which means to say single bond. If there is a single bond, then it is represented as single dash. That is one dash. If you write, then it is single bond. And how to denote a double bond? Double bond is represented by putting two dashes. So if you put two dashes, then it indicates double bond. And how to represent a triple bond? Triple bond is represented by using three dashes. So one dash indicates a single bond, two dashes indicates double bond, three dashes indicates triple bond. In a single bond, we have two electrons here, because one bond containing two electrons. What about the double bond? It contains 4 electrons and it contains 6 electrons. So, 2 electrons between the two connecting atoms are represented by single dash, that indicates the single bond. 4 electrons between the two combining atoms are represented by using double dash, which indicates a double bond. 6 electrons between the combining atoms is represented by triple dash, which indicates a triple bond. So, how we can write the complete formula of the given compound? By using this, okay? And this gives the complete formula. In this complete formula, all the atoms present in a molecule and the bonds between the atoms are shown in the molecule, and that gives the complete formula. Now, let me give few more examples for this. Let us take a second example. Second example, remember these points. And the second example, you can take ethene. C2H4 is the molecular formula. What is the complete formula? So, this is the complete formula of the ethene molecule. Once you write the complete formula, then only you can say there is a double bond between the two carbon atoms and only single bond between carbon and the hydrogen. This is the complete formula of ethene. Similarly, ethyne. Ethyne, C2H2 is a molecular formula, and triple bond between the carbon atoms. Triple bond indicates there are 6 electrons between two carbon atoms, and here 4 electrons are there between the two carbon atoms, and one electron, two electron, one bond is with 2 electrons, another bond is with 2 electrons. So, double dash, triple dash. Double dash indicates the double bond, triple dash indicates the triple bond. Now, fourth example, let me give methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol, that is CH3OH. CH3OH. Now, you can write the formula, complete formula CH3OH. While writing the complete formula, you have to remember carbon is tetravalent, hydrogen is monovalent, oxygen is divalent. So, carbon is tetravalent, it satisfies its tetravalency here. because it is forming 4 bonds. Oxygen is divalent, it forms one bond with carbon, another bond with hydrogen, and hydrogen in all it shows monovalency. So this is about the complete formula. In complete formula, so all the atoms present in a molecule are shown, both carbon, hydrogen and other atoms are shown in a formula. Secondly, all the bonds which are connecting the atoms are also shown in the formula, and that representation is the complete formula. Now let us move on to the second type of structural representation of the organic compounds, that is nothing but second one, condensed formula. Condensed formula. Condensed formula. The name itself gives here, in these structural representation, carbon, hydrogen atoms and other atoms are shown in the formula, but the bonds between carbon and hydrogen atoms are not shown in the formula. So the first point here is, atoms present in, all the atoms present in the molecule or a given compound are shown in the formula, and also the bonds between the carbon and hydrogen are not shown in the formula. But if any multiple bonds are present, that is double and a triple bond if it is present, so double and triple bonds are shown in the formula, but not the single bond between carbon and the hydrogen. So bond between carbon and hydrogen are not shown in the formula, but all the atoms present in a molecule are shown in the formula. But any double or a triple bonds are present between the atoms that are shown in the formula. That is the first point. For that, let me give the example. Example is ethene. Ethane is the example. Let me take the same example, ethane. So what is the molecular formula? C2H6. What is its condensed formula? CH3. CH3. This is the condensed formula of the compound. Condensed formula CH3, CH3. Similarly, you can move on to propane. Propane C3H8. How to represent? CH3, CH2, CH3. So, single bond between carbon and hydrogen are not shown in the formula. Single bond between carbon and carbon atom are not shown in the formula, but all the atoms present in a given compound are shown in the formula. And the second point, as I said, any double or a triple bond is present between the atoms that can be shown by using double dash and the triple dash. Example you can take ethene. Ethene C2H4 is the molecular formula. Then how to represent this? CH2 double bond CH2. So look at in this formula, all the atoms are shown and single bond between carbon and hydrogen are not shown here, but double bond between the carbon atoms are shown in the formula. Similarly, ethane C2H2. Ethane C2H2. In this, you can give CH triple bond CH. See here, bond between the carbon and hydrogen are not shown, but triple bond between carbon atoms are shown. And similarly, third example you can give methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol. So methyl alcohol CH3OH CH4O. That is the formula, and here you can give the condensed formula of it as CH3OH. CH3OH. Since between carbon and oxygen there is a single bond and between oxygen and hydrogen there is a single bond. That bond, single bond, are not shown in the given formula, and that formula is called condensed formula. So here, since there is a single bond between the carbon and oxygen, it is not shown in the formula. And fourth one is, you can take the example of acetone. It is C3H6O. C3H6O is the formula. How to represent this acetone? CH3, C double bond O, CH3. CH3, C double bond O, CH3. So, single bond between these two carbon atoms are not shown. Single bond between these two carbon atoms are not shown here. But there is a double bond between carbon and oxygen. That double bond is shown in the formula. But here there is a single bond between carbon and oxygen, therefore it is not shown in the formula. But here, since there is a double bond between carbon and oxygen, that double bond is shown in the formula. That is about the condensed formula. First condition is that it gives all the atoms present in a given compound along with the bond between carbon and hydrogen, and a single bond between carbon atoms, and single bond between carbon and other elements are not shown in the formula. And the second point here is that any double or a triple bonds are present that are shown in the formula by using double dash and the triple dash. Now, the third point in writing the condensed formula is that third point, if groups are repeated in a given compound, if the groups are repeated in a compound, then we can represent the repeated, if identical groups, if it is attached to the same carbon, then those identical groups which are attached to the given in a molecule in a given compound, so then that identical groups which are attached to the particular atom can be represented by using bracket by a subscript. So let me give the example here. CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. This is butane. This is butane. Here CH2 units and CH3 units are repeated, but the terminal groups that you can retain in the formula, but at the center the CH2 units are repeated, so which are attached to the same atom. Then you can represent it as, take a bracket CH2 and use a subscript 2 here. Subscript 2 indicates CH2 repeats 2 times and CH3. So this is the condensed formula of the given compound. Whenever identical groups are attached to the atom, or when identical groups are present in a molecule in a chain, then that are represented in using bracket by a subscript. The subscript indicates the number of times that group repeats in a molecule. So CH2 twice means CH2 unit repeats twice in a given compound. Now the second example I can give here. Second example, CH3, CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. Now here CH is there and the CH3 twice. Therefore, CH taken in a bracket CH3 twice, CH2 repeats 3 times and again CH3. Now we can write the condensed formula like this. CH3 twice, CH, CH2 3 times, CH3. So here to this CH2 unit, 2 CH3 groups are attached and it is followed by CH2 units 3 times is added to the chain, and at the terminal position we have CH3 group, and this is the condensed formula. Let me give the third example. CH3, CCH3, CH3, CH3. This is the formula given. This is called neopentane. Neopentane. Why we are using neo here? Because this alkane containing quaternary carbon. Means, what do you mean by quaternary carbon? 4-degree carbon. What do you mean by 4-degree carbon? The carbon which is bonded to 4 other carbon atoms is called quaternary carbon or 4-degree carbon. Hence, the prefix we have to use here neo. Neopentane. 5 carbon atoms are there and it is a alkane, and hence it is neopentane. How to represent it in a condensed formula? CH3 4 times C. CH3 4 times C means CH3 groups, 4 CH3 groups are attached to the carbon, and this is the condensed formula. And fourth example, let me give. CH3, CH2, 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 CH2COOH. You can represent it as CH3CH2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times it repeats. COOH. Name of the compound is adipic acid. Name of the compound is adipic acid. Sorry, hexanoic acid, not adipic acid. Sorry, hexanoic acid. Hexanoic acid. So here, instead of CH3, if we have COOH, then it will be adipic acid. Now it is hexanoic acid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexanoic acid. Adipic acid is this. This is adipic acid. CH2, CH2, COOH. So this is adipic acid. You can represent it in condensed formula COOH, CH2, 4 times COOH. So this is the condensed formula of adipic acid. So this is about the condensed formula, and the last point here is fourth point while giving the condensed formula of a given compound is any side chain is attached to the organic compound. Any side chain is present or any substituent group is attached to a given atom in a compound, or any functional group which are attached as a side chain to the given organic compound, that can be represented in a bracket next to the atom to which that group is attached. So, any side chain, if it is present in a molecule, then that side chain or the functional group as a side chain can be represented by using brackets next to the atom to which that group is attached. So, that is, for example, CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. Now, this is the second carbon where we have methyl group. Methyl group is present as a side chain to this carbon. Now, you can represent this side chain next to this carbon using brackets. Then, how to write the condensed formula? CH3, CH3. That I took it in a bracket. And this, the group, whatever we have written in a brackets, that belongs to this carbon, not to the next carbon. It belongs to the previous carbon only, not to the next carbon. Then CH2, CH3. So remember, any side chain or the substituent group is bonded to any atom in a given compound, that can be represented by using brackets next to the atom to which that group is attached. Next to that atom to which that group is attached. And this is one more point in condensed formula. Then let me give the second example. CH3, CH2, CHBr, CH2, CH3. Here we have bromine as a substituent group, 3-bromopentane. 3-bromopentane is the compound. Then how to represent this in a condensed formula? CH3, CH2, take a bracket, CH3, CH2, CH, take a bracket, Br, CH2, CH3. So this is the condensed formula for this compound. Substituent group, I took it in a bracket next to that atom to which it is attached. And this is the condensed formula. Similarly, give one more example. You take CH3, CHOH, CH2, CH3. 2-butanol, that is CH3, CHOH, CH2, CH3. So this is the condensed formula of the given compound. OH is the substituent attached to this carbon, that is represented by using brackets. And that is about the structural representation of the compound by condensed formula. In a condensed formula, the carbon and hydrogen atoms and other atoms of other elements are shown in the formula, but the single bond between the carbon atoms and the single bond between the carbon and hydrogen are not shown in the given formula. Again, if any double or a triple bonds are present between carbon atoms and also between carbon and other atom, can be shown by using double dash and the triple dash. And any groups are repeated in a given compound that are represented by represented in brackets by subscript, and any side chain or the substituent or the functional group is attached to the any carbon in a given compound, that can be represented in brackets next to the atom to which that group is attached. And these are the 4 points that we have to remember in while writing the condensed formula of a given compound. Condensed formula of a given compound. Okay. Now, let us move on to now let me give few examples for this. So now write the complete and condensed formula of these compounds. CH3, CH2, CH2, CH double bond, CH, CH3. This is the given compound. Represent it in complete formula. How many carbon atoms are there? 3 plus 3, 6. 6 carbon atoms. And here is a double bond between the carbon atoms. Then you have to represent the hydrogen. So look at here. I put 3 bonds around this carbon because it's a valency. One valency already satisfied with the carbon. But I put 2 bonds for this carbon because already it satisfies 2 valency with 2 carbon atoms. So on the basis of that, we need to give the number of hydrogen atoms here. So that is the method of writing this type of formula. So at a terminal position, always carbon gets the 3 hydrogen atoms, and in non-terminal position you will get 2 hydrogen atoms if there is a single bond. If there is a double bond, you have to decrease the hydrogen by 1 unit. If triple bond, if you put here, again you have to decrease 1 more hydrogen atom from each carbon atom, and that is the way of writing the formula of a given compound. Now write the complete formula of the compound. Now hydrogen It satisfies the tetravalency. That you have to remember in all the compounds. It should satisfy the tetravalency of the carbon. So the carbon must get 4 bonds. 4 bonds around it. So this is the complete formula of this compound. Now let me give the condensed formula. CH3, CH2 twice, CH double bond CH, CH3. So this is the condensed formula because CH2 units repeat twice and no representation of bonds between the carbon atoms and also hydrogen. And if double bond, since it is there, I represented double bond as double dash between the carbon atoms. And this is condensed formula and this is complete formula of the compound. So this is about the second type of structural representation of the organic compounds, given organic compounds. Now, let us move on to the third method of giving structural representation of the organic compounds. So the third one, okay, I will continue the third formula, that is a bond line formula, in the next class. Thank you.